when Chandler Grieco flies to Wyoming to visit Patrick Daley. They are both looking to quench their thirst for adventure in Grand Teton National Park.
Didn't know what I was getting myself into.
What are we about to do, bro?
About to go on a nice little hiking trail.
This is adventure country.
But as they ascend in elevation, things take a turn for the worst. And Patrick is left alone to fend for himself. Now he faces severe exhaustion.
Keep going.
And a nighttime hike through bear country in pitch black darkness.
You got this. Is anybody out here?
If I just misstep, I'm off the edge.
Maybe we just bit off more than we could chew.
Wyoming, the least populated state in the United States of America, and home to the Grand Teton Mountains, as well as new resident Patrick Daley, who has decided it's time to invite a friend out to visit.
Out here, it's just amazing. It's like the Garden of Eden. It's hard to really explain it. So I've been telling all my friends, my family and everything. So I was super excited when my friend Chandler told me he was going to come out and visit.
I decided to take a trip to see my good friend Pat Daley. He's in Wyoming, I'm in Florida. I've never really been out to the west. Didn't know what I was getting myself into, but I was really excited and just wanted to book the flight and experience something that I've never experienced before.
I could finally share this with another fellow Floridian. This Garden of Eden, this heaven on earth. Before Chandler was coming, I kind of thought up this whole plan. I had been wanting to hike in the Grand Teton. Dude, you will not believe what I just found.
And he, mentioned that he wanted to do this hike.
So I'm on this girl's Instagram, right? And she's at some lake in the Grand Tetons. Yeah, back there, backcountry. She's at some lake. It's got green fluorescent water, like glowing water, I swear to you. It's ice melt from the glacier, glowing green. It's insane. I'm kind of like a go big or go home guy. I don't want to just do like a small thing and be satisfied by that. I can't be satisfied by that. So I planned out a pretty strenuous hike.
It was 11 miles in, camp overnight, and then 11 miles back. I've never backpacked or hiked or even really did anything like that. But the sound of it really intrigued me. I was very interested in doing it.
One of the first things we talked about was, hey, we could either do one of two things. We could kind of take it easy and just have a good time, or we could have a real adventure out here, because this is adventure country. And I told them about the hike, and I said, this is a really strenuous hike, but I want to make sure that you're down for it. I don't want to force anything. I want to make sure that you're down for this and that, you actually want to do this with me.
When he, mentioned it again, it's like, so, what, do you still want to do this hike? And I'm like, yes, I definitely want to do it.
Little did we know how much of a real adventure it would become. I do some research, I look at my map, and I find it. It's called Schoolroom Glacier. It's insane, man. We'd have to do it in 2 days. So I had the whole route planned out for us. We would hike in through the Canyon Cascade Trail. And Canyon Cascade is like a gradual incline up into the mountains. It's a great starter. So we go to the National Park Visitor Center to get camping permits because you need a permit to sleep overnight.
We talked to the lady that's working the desk, and we asked her, tell her the route that we wanted to take and where we're trying to go.
And I say, hey, what do you think is the best route to get out here? And she said, hey, you should start at Death Canyon. It's a super incline route, and it's really the opposite way me and Chandler were gonna take.
We could actually start where our route had us ending. It was kind of like doing it in reverse.
I figured, hey, she's an expert, she's done this before. This is the best way. So let's go, let's do Death Canyon.
We said, sure, you know, she knows that sounds great, let's do it.
At the base of their route, Chandler and Patrick are at an already high elevation of 6,200 feet above sea level. During their hike, they will be ascending to an altitude of approximately 12,000 feet. Starting on a steep incline, like the Death Canyon Trail, means they won't be giving themselves much time to acclimate as they ascend.
Alrighty, out here with Mr. Chandler.
What's up?
We out here, what are we about to do, bro?
About to go on a nice little hiking trail. 11.5 miles there, and then 11.5 miles back.
11 in, 11 out. And I just realized I started getting out of breath almost right away. The elevation is crazy. And the whole goal of this journey, I'm already a little out of breath, but
It's high altitude.
we're getting started. This is serious, this is gonna be real, for sure. We're just seeing this beauty of the Grand Teton National Park. It's just cascading mountains and just beautiful valleys and views. Definitely some real wilderness. The thing about Wyoming is there's definitely wildlife out here. You're in Wyoming, you're not really in the domain of man, you're in the domain of animals. That fact doesn't escape us. These are the realities of camping. We have some rice in a pot. We didn't bring a cover, so we're using a flat rock.
The potatoes were top notch.
Yes, we had potatoes, gourmet.
Rustic style.
Yes, au gratin. Is that how you say it?
Au gratin is
Au gratin.
with cheese.
With
no
cheese. Oh, there's no cheese. So this was our camping spot last night. Next up, we're gonna hike up this trail further and get to Hurricane Pass. And Hurricane Pass is where Schoolroom Glacier is. That's our ultimate goal right here, is to find the glacier and check it out, and then that will be kind of the halfway point to our journey. We just collected some snow because we haven't seen any streams lately. That's how, there's streams along the trail, but they're kind of sparse. So we just collected some snow, and we're gonna melt it up in a pot and then use our water filtration system to get clean water, and it really does make it clean. It's pretty amazing. So we're elevating at an amazing rate in Death Canyon. I think you elevate around 3,000 to 4,000 feet within a few hours. We also noticed just how much of an incline this is. This is straight up. We have hiked quite a bit of elevation. It's pretty wild. How
Sure
do you
is.
feel?
Feel exhausted.
Yeah.
Really.
We think in our heads that we're gonna be reaching the summit fairly quickly, but we really, it takes hours from there to reach the divide going back over the mountain down to the real backcountry. Every 5 minutes we just wait and take a break and I'm noticing Chandler just sitting down more and, you know, out of breath.
At this point, I'm pretty exhausted, but I'm like probably feeling like 60% okay. The next hour, I'm gonna get considerably worse very fast.
I'm giving him food to be able to help him out because I think he's just, you know, maybe hungry or something, but it was really a bigger issue than that. It wasn't just hunger.
We would take like, you know, 10 steps, and then I'd have to sit down and take a break. Take 10 more steps, sit down, take a break.
Certain things start changing with Chandler. I noticed that whenever he sits down, he just straight up falls asleep almost immediately.
You know, Pat would wake me up and I'm like kind of disoriented now, headache, extremely weak, disoriented, dehydrated, can't catch my breath, just weak, and like I'd never felt that feeling before, ever.
And I'm just so pumped up on the adrenaline of the hike and just excited to see what's next. I'm like, hey, you know, it's not that big of a deal. It's okay, this is fine. We'll be able to take a break when we reach Static Peak, and then maybe he'll be fine and be able to keep going, no big deal. But it just keeps happening. He just keeps falling asleep and sitting down. We can barely get, you know, further down the trail without him falling asleep, and it starts to become a real issue.
We decided to try to continue on.
This means that we're now heading into the backcountry where it's more decline. There's more of a decline. So this is great news for me, for both of us. We wouldn't have to be doing as much of an incline hike, but that really didn't matter at this point.
And as soon as we kind of got around the corner, it's back to this like really, really narrow trail on the edge of the cliffs.
This is not a place to have a dizzy, exhausted person be hiking through. These trails are going to lead straight down. If you fall, you're going down the mountain. You're falling to death. And I'm just thinking in my head, I'm just like, I really don't know if Chandler's going to make it out. So this video is sponsored by Adventure Creator Academy. This is my new course I created that covers everything from storytelling to video editing to filmmaking to how to grow on YouTube. Everything adventure filmmaking. Years ago when I was in my 20s, early 20s, I was working out of an office in a cubicle. I was done with college, I got a nice job and everything. My parents were proud, but I looked around at everyone in the office and they were happy to be there, but I wasn't. I was miserable because I knew that there was a whole world out there to experience that I wasn't experiencing from the office. I created a course to help people in that same position. You can get it now. I'm offering limited access for a limited time. Click the link in the description and I'll see you in the course. All right, let's get back to the video.
And I had to literally just stop and say, there's no way I can continue. I'm so dizzy, so weak, super dehydrated. If I just misstep one place, like I'm off the edge.
At that point, we're 9 miles in. We have 12 more miles to go. We had to face the facts that he's not going to be able to hike out.
There's no way that I could safely continue on. And I had to come to that realization, you know, with myself, you know, at that point of like, I'm literally stuck in the middle of nowhere, never experiencing anything like this before.
Chandler and Patrick now find themselves at 11,000 feet of elevation on Static Peak, with little hope of getting back with their own help. The two must make a crucial decision on how to proceed.
And Pat has the idea to actually call search and rescue.
I'm like, hey man, you know, I may have to call a helicopter to get you out of here. We didn't have cell phone service for the full duration of our hike. When I pull out my phone, I'm happy to see that there is cell phone service at this specific peak where we're at. And I end up calling 911. They transfer me to Grand Teton Search and Rescue. I'm talking to the rescue operative. he asked me how much Chandler weighs, how much Chandler's pack weighs, and I'm wondering, like, why does the weight matter so much?
Air ambulance helicopters have specific weight limits to prevent engine failure during high-altitude flights. Operating above the maximum weight limitation compromises the structural integrity of the helicopter.
And one of the other things the operative on the phone asked me is, he says, hey, if we pick up Chandler, you're gonna have to hike out. You're gonna have to hike back out alone. Are you able to do that? I was like, yeah, I can do it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna hike back alone. Chandler.
Okay, when we get close to the helicopter, I want you to duck down, okay? I'm gonna need you to hike back up, trail a ways, and stay out of the way of the helicopter.
Got you. All right, bro. See ya. Chandler just got airlifted. It's insane. The helicopter came, picked up Chandler, and then just like that, I was out in the middle of the wilderness alone. So now it's me solo. Let's go. Got 9 miles left and the sun is going down.
And I'm kind of getting worried. Like, I just had a lot of like kind of negative thoughts